Alrighty, to get started, let's name off all the materials that you're going to need for this project. We are making these little chandelier earrings. Very beautiful. They're a little small, just because I wanted to teach you guys the basic understandings, and then you can make them bigger by just making the rows longer. So to get started, you're going to get yourself some earring hooks. So I just have some shepherd's hooks here. A beading needle. So this needle is a size 12. You're going to need beading thread. So this is just white nylon thread. I am using a lighter just to make my knots a little bit neater, and of course you don't have to do that at all. A pair of scissors, and then your beads. So down here I have size 12 seed beads. And to pick my colors, I have these mixtures that I'm definitely not going to sort anytime soon, so I decided to be perfect for this project. And then I chose black for the top. And of course you can choose any colors you'd like. So I'll let you gather all of your stuff and let's get started. So when you're ready, you're going to cut your thread, one single piece about 40 inches long. And then you're going to take one end and you're going to thread your needle. So all you have to do is look at the eye of the needle and push it through, just like that. You're going to bring both ends together. We're going to double thread it. So I have one end there, the other end there. And we're just double threading it because I feel that's stronger, but of course do whatever you feel comfortable doing. To tie my knot, I'm going to wrap it around both fingers. Pull out one of those fingers. So now I have a hoop and a tail. You're going to push the tail through the hoop, just like that, and pull. Boom. One knot. Now we're going to double knot it. So again, do the same thing. Hoop, tail, push it through. But this time, to make sure that we don't have knots separated from each other, we want them landing on top. We're going to go very slow, making sure that it overlaps just like that. Pull tight. Now, of course, we don't need this long tail. It's just going to get in our way. So take your scissors, trim it off. But we still have a little bit of a tail that you can see. We don't need that. And again, this is just for cosmetic purposes, but I'm going to take my lighter and just bring it down. I don't want to burn the whole thing off and redo it. So very lightly, we are going to go just like that. So now it has no tail. When you have that done, we'll move on to the next step. To begin beading our earrings, so right here you can see that I have a little drawing to get us started. I attempted to draw all of the pictures and I realized I'd draw in color like a kindergartner since it's all over my hands. So I just decided that I'm going to write the type of stitch that we have up here. So it's a zigzag brick stitch, and if you want to Google or Pinterest some more photos to kind of give you an idea to follow along while we're beading this, you totally can do that as well. But I'm going to try to walk you through it to the best of my ability. Now, to start, we have to start with 3 beads, and we're actually going to start beading the corner here. So these 3 beads are our stars of the show. That's how we start. So again, my colors are black, so I'm going to pick up 3 black beads, just like that. Pull it all the way to the end. So the dot represents the knot right here, and then the direction of the arrow is which way we're going. And you can see the next step is to come back around, and this is the knot. This is where our needle is coming out of. So what that means is only go through the last bead. So I'm going to isolate my last bead. So come up right beside and pull all the way. So now this step, I find it very helpful. So this is what it looks like so far, is putting my fingernail between those 2 beads and pull. So that way it kind of helps orientate the beads. Since I'm using seed beads, they're going to be rounded. They don't fit together perfectly like bricks. You can use cut beads or delicate beads, anything that you feel like it. So this is what it looks like, a little diamond. And notice how the knot's right there. So now what we're going to be doing is building on our next step. So let me grab a marker real quick so I can show you what that looks like. So we're going to add on another bead here, take our needle through that. Oh no. But anyway, so we add on that bead, our needle's going through both of them. That's what we should be looking like. So let's get that going. So again, we have our triangle. We're going to only add on one bead. So I like to hold it in my hand like this. So you can see the one bead that we have to go through the bottom here. So pick up one bead and push through the bottom and pull. Now, the beginning of this is going to be kind of frustrating and it's going to look horrible, but it's going to get better. You just got to keep pulling. So now we have a little square. And again, make sure that knot stays in the proper position. So now we've added on that top one there. We're going to need to add on more beads. So we come back up through this guy and then keep adding on bead by bead. So it's going to be like we're building a really slanted wall. So here we are, our square. Notice we're coming out of this bead at the bottom, which means we ignore that bead for now. We're going to pick up one, push through that bead we just added on, and pull. Now, make sure it looks kind of like this. There's 3 on the bottom and 2 on top. That knot stays in this proper spot. So now we're coming out of the top. We're going to bead and fill this gap right here, coming through the bottom bead. So again, picking up one bead, pushing through the bottom. Ooh, there we go. Pull. So we want to make sure we do this until we get 7 beads on the bottom. So just keep going. Don't panic. You got this. Coming out of the bottom, we're going to go through the top now. So this is why they call it the zigzag, because you're just zigzagging back and forth. Just keep going. Put on Netflix. Put on a movie. Put on music. Okay, so just a quick recap of where we are. We have 4 on top, 4 on the bottom. Our knot's still in the corner there, exactly where we want it. But we need to make sure we have 7 on the bottom and 6 on top. So coming out of this bottom one, we got to go through the top one now. That's something that I like to do when I'm beading, is just put on a movie and just watch a movie and bead. But then some people are like, how can you do that? I need to look at what I'm doing. But I don't know. So just keep going, zigzagging your way through. Go as fast or as slow as you need to do. If you need to rewind and go back, that's the beauty of this. So my beads aren't all the same shape, so it's kind of weird. So now on the bottom I have 6 and 5 on top. That's how mine looks like for now. So I need to do a few more. So again, I'm coming out of the top one, just push through the bottom. Zigzag, and then you see how there's a gap. Just keep pulling tight. Do your best. Coming out of the bottom, go through the top. So this is what I'm at. So I actually have 7 on the bottom and 6 on top now. So this is where we change. Well, it's still a zigzag brick stitch. So we are actually gonna not do zigzagging anymore per se. So here's my knot. It's still in that corner. Do you see how on top there's these guys? So what we're going to be doing is picking up one bead and going underneath and back through. So what that looks like, picking up a bead, go under, now pull nice and lightly, and you see it's actually just kind of free floating. So you got to come back up through the bottom. That's what it looks like. So pull nice and gently. That's what it looks like. Now we're going to fill that top row. Doing the exact same thing. Hold it in your hand. Go pick up what I have one bead on the needle. I have one under that thread. Pull. And again, to secure it in place. Ooh, to secure it in place, I'm going to go through the bottom. And just do that until you reach the knot. Just keep going. I'm actually really glad to be beading. I just finished my last paper for school, and I'm glad. There we go. So each row, as we're building up, we'll have one less bead. So we're gonna have 5 beads in this row. And again, pull and come up from the underside. So this is how our project should look. So you can see that's starting to taper off. Same thing, this time we're only going to do 4 beads on this row. So grab your bead on your needle. So we're coming out of this one. So we're going underneath that guy. Pull. And again, now it's just kind of free roaming. We want to make sure we come from the bottom. Pull. So now this is the 4th row. And let's just keep going. Fill in. Make sure if you have tanglies, deal with those. One more bead. So it becomes easier as you go along. The more that you do, and then you can get more funky with the colors. Practice your designs. So you see that? I actually have a little run in my thread. So what I like to do is actually just look at it and see what the heck went wrong. Sometimes you actually have to undo. So all I do is... Alright, I'm back. So this is where we are at. We have row 7, 6, 5, and 4. We're going to do one more row of 3. So do exactly the same thing. Grab your needle with the bead on it, go under this thread, pull, go under so it's not free flying, one more, see how it's free flying, we're gonna catch it, by coming under. Now the last one, going under one more time, pull. Now get it from the bottom, and boom, we have a little tiny pyramid. So now what you're going to do is you're going to build a little hoop, or little loop, where the earring will hold on to. You're going to pick up 4 beads. And we're going to come on to the opposite side. So we're coming out of 1, skipping 2, and coming out of 3. Just like that. See it? We're going to pull. So it should look like Lizzo's tiny pink purse. It's a really tiny little guy. So this is where I prefer to tie a knot instead of trying to worry about getting my needle back down here. So to tie a knot, I'm gonna actually make sure that I come out the other side. So I'm gonna push through, and I just prefer that because, you know, the knot's already here, that ugly thing's here. So this is gonna be the ugly side. No one's gonna be seeing that. So the way I tie my knot, especially when it's something like this, is I hold it in my fingers right there. I wrap it around. So now there's a big loop right here. You're gonna pull this tail through, and I'm gonna hold all of it in place, pull and hope for the best. And then the knot's there. But we wanna make sure we double knot it just for more security. So hold in my fingers, wrap it all the way around the item. There's a hoop here. I'm gonna pull the tail through, make that go where I want it to go. So like, if I let go, it's gonna look like that. And if I pull, the knot's gonna end up there, and that's not where I want it. So I'm gonna force it where I want it to go, hold it in place between my fingers, pull and hope for the best. And ta-da, that's how I tie a knot. So I'm gonna tie this, or cut this guy off, retie my thread, and then make sure that I singe my knots so it looks a little bit neater. So I'm gonna let you do that with me. If you want to pause, you can totally do that as well. So that's ready to go. So I don't want that big tail there. There we go. When you're ready, we'll get started on the next step. So we're gonna start in the middle. So this guy here has 4, and he's coming out of the exact middle. So starting on the side where all my knots are gonna be, I'm gonna look for exactly middle. So that's gonna be the 4th one. And just push through. So that's what it looks like. Coming out of that one. And pull. And then now you can see, if I was smart, I would actually use black thread, but nobody got time for that. So this one you're gonna pick up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're gonna let it drop to the end. Now to make sure that it actually stays, we're gonna pull one away, ignore about him for now, and push through the 3. So it looks like that. And sometimes the beads end up way over there. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna hold on to the bead that you ignored for a bit and pull. So it looks like that. Now you're gonna wanna make sure that you go back through that black bead. So just like that. Pull. Now we're gonna make the loops. So let's move over to the neighbor. So it's neighbor right there. Pull. Now I'm gonna place that down. I am gonna put on enough beads that it nicely fits around this middle bead. So Let's see how much that is. So I'm just going to put a bunch on, load it up, measure it, and then take off what I need. So I'm going to hold it in my hand, let it hang loosely. And then wrap it. It's a little tight, so I think I want to add 1 or 2 more. Totally up to you. If you want to copy my pattern, I have 4, 8. Oh, I have a cut bead in there. That's cute. The spirit bead. So 4, 8, 12. And 15. So I have 15 on here. So I had 4 and now 15 on this. So what I'm going to do is when I'm going to do the loop, I'm going to come up to the other side. So the exact other side. So this one we started in. Then this middle one is already taken. So we're going to go on to the other side. Just like that. Now pull. Don't pull too tight or else your hoop will be very stiff. You kind of want it to flow too, and that's how it looks. So now hold that in place, and we're just going to keep moving over. So we're going to go over to this guy. Now we're going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to add a bunch on, load up my needle. Pull that all the way on. Almost there, but not quite. Keep going. So I actually like how this looks. I'm going to take off some. So if I put it in my hand and measure it out, just like that. It's a little bit too long, so maybe I'll take off 2 more. Yeah, I can get used to that. So that is 3, 6, 9, 10, 13, 16. Oh, I totally lost count. 3, 6, 9, 10, 13, 16, 19, 20, 23. Well, finals are over, so my brain is just fried. So again, we're coming up to the other side, coming through this second last bead to the end. Pull, again, not too tightly because we want it to flow. Just like that. And if your middle one's not flowing as much, then while you still can, you can actually loosen it up just by tugging. You know, catch a feel for it. Come through the last bead now, the one at the end, and you're going to pull. And again, let's do the exact same thing. It went flying. If both sides aren't the same in exact number, then that's totally fine. That's just the beauty of having something handcrafted. That looks almost perfect. Did you see that? Maybe I'll add 2 more just in case. And if it's bigger, that's totally fine with me. So now, coming up the last one, and pull. Check it out. Very nice. So to tie a knot, what I'm going to do is actually come through another bead. It doesn't really matter which one. Make sure that wherever you push through, you'll have the knot ending on the same side. So I just pushed it in through its neighbor, so you see how it's coming out of the black one. Pull. Be very careful when you're tying your knot to make sure that it doesn't end up being all stiff. You still want them to flow. And again, we'll tie our knot by holding it in our hand, just like this. Wrap it around. Hold in place. Hope for the best. Not too bad. Do it one more time. Pull it through the hoop that you made. Pull. Hope for the best. Now, all you have to do, cut it off. See that little extra tail? I don't like that. Boop. And that's how you do it. So let's add the hook while we can. So depending on the type of hook and where you got them, there's already a little gap. I'm going to open it a little more, just like that. So again, there's a pretty side and a less pretty side. You're still cute. I love you. You're good. But I prefer this side. So you're going to put your hook just in there. Now we're going to close that. Close it off. And those are our earrings. I hope you try your hand at it, and you know, if your first pair doesn't turn out as nicely, or it kind of looks a little messy, that's totally fine. You're learning. And you know, this is actually my third attempt at these ones specifically, so it takes some practice, and I'm hoping that you can reply or take photos of your finished work and share it with us. I hope you have a great night. Vistas.